Benintendi with 3 home runs and a stolen base in 76 games. Yeah, he's hitting 308 and 374. He's only slugging 395. So I mean, he has become a light hitting corner outfielder, which is not good. I mean, it's just not good enough. I mean, last year, was it last year? Yeah, last year he hit 17 home runs, so and slugged 442. So the power has somewhat disappeared this year. I haven't checked, the Baseball Savant page. I guess I could do that while I'm talking to see kind of what everything looks like from him. But when you play corner, if he was a center fielder, I mean, maybe that would play. But if you're a corner outfielder, those are power positions, and you expect to get some pop out of those positions. And when you're getting a sub 400 on base, sub 4 slug, that's a problem. Exit velocity is mid pack, 52%, and his hard hit rate's at 39%. So let's see what his launch angle is. Launch angle. Where's his launch angle? I guess if I type in LA, it'll come up. Oh, there it is. 13.9. Yeah, so last year was 17% on fastballs. This year it's 13%. That's a fairly flat swing. And breaking pitches and all speed pitches, it's 9 and 7. Again, last year was 17, 15, and 11. So yeah, he's definitely not putting as much loft in his swing. So you're just not going to see as many home runs. Just basic math. But you're going to make better contact. So knowing nothing else and simply looking at the data, it appears that Andrew Benintendi has traded power for contact, which, look, his on-base percentage went up 50 points and his batting average went up 35 points. So can you get more money in free agency with power? You betcha. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll work out for him. But, I mean, most guys don't like light hitting. Most teams don't like light hitting corner outfielders because that's your power positions. Let's move on. Number 7 is Colin Barber, outfielder with the Houston Astros. He is in high A. He is only 21 years old, 69 at-bats in June, 377 batting average, 469 on-base percentage, 5 home runs and a stolen base. For the season, 214 plate appearances, 330 batting average, a 439 on-base percentage, 7 home runs, 5 stolen bases, 19% strikeout rate, 12% walk rate. Looks pretty good. He has really improved his contact, and the growing power maybe makes him a full-time regular. But as we've talked about with some of these other players, let's see, with Baty and Eguy Rosario with stacked teams, it's tough to kind of find playing time. With the Houston Astros, it's really tough to find playing time. So can he eventually push his way in? I think time will tell. I wouldn't count on it, but time will tell. He has shortened up his swing, and I think that has helped him to reduce his strikeout rate, which is always good to see. It's also allowing him to get to his power. He's posted a 514 slug. He's an average runner, so, I mean, if you're looking at a ceiling, it could be a 2010 stat line. So that's assuming he continues to progress. Is that enough to be a full-time regular? I think so. Is that enough to be a full-time regular in the Astros? Probably not. Christian Encarnacion-Strand. So 3 names there. Always makes it more fun. It's funny when you go to MILB.com and you're sorting things. His name is so long it jumbles it all up because they didn't account for somebody having a name that long, which is pretty funny. Anyway, he's a third baseman. He is with the Minnesota Twins. He is in high A. He is 22 years old. 89 at-bats, 292 batting average, 370 on-base percentage, 9 home runs, a stolen base. And for the season, 299 plate appearances, a 294 batting average, a 361 on-base percentage, 17 home runs, 16 stolen bases, 26% strikeout rate, 8% walk rate. Here's a kid that if he can keep the strikeout rates in check, he could develop into a full-time regular with 25 home run pop. It's a kid that came out of Yavapai, Arizona, the junior college there that produced Willie Calhoun, Cole Calhoun, Chance Adams, Kenny Giles, and a bunch of other guys. So it is a JUCO school that is really developing a lot of major league players. So, you have to take that as, I think, an important data point. He's got the big raw power, slugging 580. He's got the, chance to be, have big home run pop. He's also got a little bit of speed, so you can see 6-10 stolen bases is all going to come down to how much he hits. I'm putting his ability to hit somewhere in the mid 200s. Let's call it 240 to 260 based on his batting average of balls in play, with a low 300s on base percentage, 25 to 30 home runs. That's what I think potentially his major league stat line would look like. So if you're looking for kind of a ceiling / realistic, that might be what we're talking about. Is that a full-time regular? It's probably pretty close. So it's an interesting guy, relatively big sign by the Minnesota Twins. I think he was a 3rd-round draft pick, if memory serves me right. So a guy that, if he's sitting on your waiver wire, might be a guy that you want to add. Let me see what year he was. Type in Strand and see what year he was drafted in here. 4th round in 2021. So that's a significant sign the guy's having a solid start to his career, and should be a guy that you would consider adding to your fantasy rosters, your dynasty league rosters. Number 9 is one of the most exciting players in the minor leagues, and that is Elly De La Cruz, second baseman with the Cincinnati Reds. He's in high A. He is only 20 years old. 96 at bats, 302, 374 on base percentage, 7 home runs, and 11 stolen bases. That's in 1 month. For the year, 276 plate appearances, 294, 351, 15 home runs, 23 stolen bases. But here's the problem: 30% strikeout rate and a 7.6 walk rate. In my tool summary rate, Jazz Chisholm level tools, maybe more. However, there's plenty of swing and miss in his game, kind of like ... So I'm kind of copying him a little bit to Jazz Chisholm, who I was worried about how much contact he would make. I'm still worried about that, but there's no denying the kind of exciting tools that Jazz Chisholm brings, and that's all-star level tools. I mean, I think he's currently on the IL, but I mean, he could be the all-star representative from the Miami Marlins. And Elly De La Cruz, I think, has those kinds of upside. There's also a chance that he's not even in Double-A yet. So we have to see once he gets there. If his strikeout rate moves to 35, 36%, we could be in big-time trouble. But there's some exciting tools there, and he should be owned in all dynasty leagues. It's just bottom line, because I've got his ETA 2024. So we're talking in a couple of years, you have to take a risk on a guy with that kind of level of tools. Number 10 is another Houston Astros, Logan Cerny, Cerny. He's an outfielder. He's in low A. He is 22 years old, 85 at bats, 329 batting average, a 412 on base percentage, 5 home runs and 10 stolen bases just for the month. For the season, 276 plate appearances, 245 batting average, 337 on base percentage, 11 home runs, 23 stolen bases. The problem is 30% strikeout rate, but a very good 10% walk rate. All right, there's pretty simple analysis here. He's a 70 grade runner with great base stealing skills, enough bat speed to hit a few home runs at the highest level, but he strikes out too much. Also at 22, he's a little old for the level. If he could somehow cut down on the strikeouts, the upside is Miles Straw. So that's kind of how I view him, who came up through the Astros organization. But remember, Straw only struck out 13% of the time, so there's some work left to do. So you're looking at a guy whose carrying tool is speed, which you like, got a little bit of pop, which you like. Straw has no pop, but he strikes out too much. And speed guys who strike out a lot, boy, it's razor thin whether they make it or not. It just really is. You really need to be able to cut down your strikeout rate if your carrying tool is getting on base for obvious reasons. I mean, if you're going to hit a lot of home runs, don't necessarily have to be on base. You're there to drive in runs. But if your value to the organization is getting on base and scoring runs, then having the ability to make contact becomes very, very important. And that therein lies the rub with Logan Cerny. Number 11 is Jose Salas. He is a shortstop. He is with Miami. He is in low A. He is only 19 years old. 71 at bats, 3 home runs, 5 stolen bases, a 338 batting average, and a 435 on base percentage. For the season, 276 plate appearances, 269 batting average, a 356 on-base percentage, 6 home runs, 15 stolen bases, 32% strikeout rate, which is not good, and a 5% walk rate, which is even worse. It's a very intriguing prospect with plenty of raw power and speed, at least early in his career. Look, the approach is really aggressive and he strikes out too much. So we all know the things that he needs to work on. But he's a switch hitter. There's more pop from the left side. I think the bat speed points at 20 to 25 home runs. You like the fact that he's only 19 years old. But as I've said many times, guys who strike out at a 30+% strikeout rate in low A, the history of those players making it to the major leagues and being impact performers is low. It just is. But, we talked about Elly De La Cruz, and I'm not saying he's got the same level of loud tools as De La Cruz has, but there's enough tools there to get excited about. And, a guy that you don't want to give up on, but if you're a more shallow dynasty league, probably not a guy you're running out to jump on. Interesting guy, though. Last bat is Luis Castillo. He is an outfitter. He's with Milwaukee. He's in the Arizona Complex League, and he is only 18 years old. 65 at-bats, 369 batting average, a 432 on-base percentage, 3 home runs, no stolen bases, 19% strikeout rate, and 11% walk rate. Signed by the Brewers in 2020. When he made his when they signed him, he was a contact guy but didn't show any power. So it's encouraging in 65 at-bats to see him basically hitting 3 home runs. But we know that Complex League in the middle, well, I guess we're early summer. In the early summer, balls fly out of those Arizona spring training facilities. So kind of have to balance all that out. But look, he makes great contact, and if he can develop some power, he's a guy that we need to watch. Those are our hitters. Let me take a break and get back and plow through the pitchers. Seven pitchers here. First guy is Hunter Brown. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's with Houston. He's in AAA, and he is 23 years old. 23 innings pitched, a 2.35 ERA, 32 strikeouts, and 9 walks. And that pretty much epitomizes who Hunter Brown is, just that. 32 strikeouts and 9 walks. So you're looking at 32 strikeouts in 23 innings, which is great. But he's walking too many guys. So for the season, it's a 2.42 ERA, 12.5 strikeouts per 9, but a 4 walks per 9. And that's it. It's a plus arsenal, but the lack of control is tamping down his ceiling. I have him as a top 60 starting pitcher. With the upside, if that control improves, there's definitely upside there. He did not make my top 100. He just fell outside of it. I had him in a couple of early cuts in the top 100. Is he a top 100 talent? Yeah, for sure. But I wanted to put some young kids in there that I was just really high on. I think Hunter Brown's going to be a fine pitcher, but with, I think, a ceiling of a number 3, if the control comes around. Look, if he turned into having at least above average control, he could be a number 2 starter. But where he's sitting now and getting to that, it's tough. So above average control would be sub 3 walks per 9, so probably 2.8, 2.9. That's a huge improvement. But he's going to be good. He should be up soon because he is just about ready. He's 23 years old, so he's age appropriate for the big leagues. Does he make his big league debut sometime this year? I wouldn't be surprised. And let's face it, the Astros, and again, most of it was in the Luno organization, have done an excellent job at developing pitchers, particularly and the upper levels of the minor leagues and once they get to the major leagues. Now, again, that was with Hank Stram. So again, old regime, is that going to carry forward into this new regime? Time will tell. Number 2 is Luis Medina, who I've seen a ton, well, not a ton, some, and with the Yankees and Somerset with their Double-A teams. He's a right-handed pitcher. He is 23 years old, obviously playing for the Yankees and in Double-A, as I said. 26 2/3 innings pitched in the month of June, a 2.03 ERA, 28 strikeouts, and 7 walks. For the season, 54 innings pitched, a 3 ERA, like that, 11 strikeouts per 9, sounds good, but walks per 9, 4.7. look, it's 30 grade control. You can call it whatever you want. I mean, he's got a plus arsenal, can hit